Boxing Beta, Boxing Beta, Boxing Beta. A game which, for a lot of us, was our lives for a very, very long time. It had a very, very long lifespan. It's still up today, averaging over 5,000 people playing the game every day. This game has been out for a long, long time, a little less than 3 years, which is a big lifespan, and the fact that it's still going on strong is very good. But there are a lot of cons with this, and now I give you the downfall of Boxing Beta. This game has always had a really, really good player base. This game always had a very, very consistent player base of players that came in and played every day. We used to peak at many, even close to the 10,000 player mark, but as the game got longer and longer, you peak at more 6,000 to 5,000 per day, which is not what Boxing Beta wants. You guys can see in the span of a month, when we had the New Year's update, where the game just had a really, really big spike, and then just poof, big dip. You guys remember in October, we had this big update coming in for the Season 2 of Boxing Beta. We were averaging 3,000 players. It was going downhill. And then the second that Season 2 dropped, 12,000 spiked, and it steadied out for the rest of that season until we figured out that there was nothing to do. This brings me to my next point. There's nothing to do in Boxing Beta. There is no goal with Boxing Beta. The only thing that you're here to play for is the ELO. ELO is basically the way to test your rank. This is how you gain and lose the rank next to your username. This is the only thing you can play for, or else all it become is fight in these rings, hoping to get cash, to get gloves that don't do anything for your player. This also stands for power punches, regular punches, idols, and all these other cosmetic animation that you can get. These do nothing to your character and only are there for a way for you to spend your cash, because they know that there's nothing else that you can spend your cash on. Also, another big thing that makes Boxing Beta very, very much go downhill over the years: the lack and inconsistency of updates are incredibly poor. During the summer, when there was a ton of updates, the 2v2 ring was added, the knuckle fight ring was added. There were so many new things that we were able to do that gave us so much new light on what we could play, which caused the player count to go to the 10 to the 15,000s even, which is what kept Boxing Beta up to date. Even the new punches, even though they don't really do anything, they all had a really big aspect in this game. The second that they stopped, or they slowed down, or they just kept rinse and repeating the updates, everyone didn't want to play the game anymore. Which goes back to the graph of only 3,000 players playing the game daily. Now you may be thinking 3,000 is still a lot of players, but we keep in mind 3,000 of those players are returning players. These are not new players. These are not people that are willing to play the game. These are people that have played this game for months and months and are grinding the ELO to try and get better. But there is hope. There is one aspect of this game that will help revive this game, and that is leagues. Leagues are what we call the competitive side of Boxing Beta. There is ELO for everyone who wants to try, but there is leagues for the true competitors to fight. Every weekend, you can see that the spikes of the game go up and up and up. That's because there's a PBC event happening, sponsored by Boxing Beta, which is what gives over 2,000 to 3,000 players to join the game daily to go watch these fights against the best of the best, fighting each other for a belt that Boxing Beta gives. It's impressive. I have watched many of those fights. It is impressive. Without any big update, I think the game might die. Without any way for people that want to play the game casually and want to actually grind the game, I believe the game will die. Now, this isn't a video bashing Boxing Beta, saying, hey, you guys are not doing a good job. This is a criticism video, and I want this game to thrive. And thanks for a lot of you guys, I have a solution. I have rallied up a lot of players asking their opinion to how Boxing Beta should revive. And for most of them, I heard a battle pass or something we can grind that is not ELO. Since the beginning of Boxing Beta at its time, there's only been one way to grind the game. There is no other purpose to play Boxing Beta. Their reasoning why this game had such a low player base and why it did not gain much traction. For example, we have Untitled Boxing Game, the biggest boxing game on Roblox right now. What do they bring to the table? Weekly updates, balance changes to their kits, new kits every so often, and ELO that has intros and everything involved in it. Their community is popping because of what they bring to the table besides Boxing Beta. Not saying Untitled Boxing Game does it better, but they're doing it better. The only way that Boxing Beta will become the game that everyone wants it to be is if there's a way for casual players to play the game without having to be scared for ranked. And besides the battle pass or any sort of quest system, I have a few ideas of my own. A way for people to actually learn to get better. Let me explain. Boxing Beta has always been that game where you kind of have to play to learn. There's never been some form of tutorial, there's never been a way for you to learn the game against people from your own skill level. Having some form of tutorial in the game, teaching you all the ins and outs of Boxing Beta, is probably the best thing that they can do right now. You guys don't believe me? You guys think I'm not making sense? Well, why is there so many people going into videos seeing if they can get better at Boxing Beta? Why is there so many new players that are really asking to try and get better? There is no decent tutorial to try and explain all these very, very complicated mechanics to the game. And I do say complicated because before, Boxing Beta was simple. It was a click, block, dodge system that was super simple to learn. Now, with the dodge delay for your stamina, for the block delay for your block, for everything above, just leaves so many people confused that they need to learn from a YouTube video to understand. Even people with the 3-punch system, it's very confusing. The 2-punch system was very simple to learn. If you spam your punch too quick, it's 4. If you take your time with your punches, it's 8. Simple. Now with 3, if you punch too quickly, you'll get 3. But if you kind of wait, you'll get 6. But if you really wait, you'll get it. Like, it's too complicated. For people who want to actually play the game, it's too complicated. They want a game where they can punch their friends, and that's it. So having them play something every day that they'll actually play for without having to be very, very good at the game is going to feel rewarding to them, and they'll actually want to keep playing. Like the community said, a battle pass, a quest, something they can grind without having to touch Elo is what the community needs and what the community wants. And quite frankly, I want it to. Because quite frankly, I'm done with making rinse and repeat videos. Me and Tomred have basically the same series of making builds of people in real life. There is no real, let's say, interactive with the game. There is no way to make the game fun for viewers to watch. All it is ways to get better and builds. That's what gives all the big stuff. You guys don't believe me? Go to Tomret X's channel. You guys know who Tomret is? He was the big boy of Boxing Beta. He was the one who created the whole YouTube scene and what is the big time for content creation. He started a build series getting 15 to 50,000 views per video. Also, I was a part of them. I then took that idea, made it into content creators. Tomret, Top Shrek builds, Sir Grizzle's build, all these builds. But then, like I said, it becomes rinse and repeat. Videos are getting really repetitive. All it is just someone making a random build, calling it a name, and then going into a frame to test it out. There's no variety with content. The only content that I find enjoyable is Tomret's, and that's it. You can argue TikTok has a big scene there, but all it is like I said, PvC and professional fighting. So with that I say, Boxing Beta, I want this game to thrive. I want this game to be big on YouTube. I want this game to blow up on Boxing Beta, and I want this Roblox game to survive. After what has been said in this video, I think it's no doubt that this game is going down a bad path. They have made a new game called Boxing Alpha, having all the updates we wish for in Boxing Beta. We have gloves that give some form of boost to the player. We have styles which help your player evolve from certain fighters. There is quests that you can do to try and get better and gain a lot of money, as you can see, using that money for things that is much better. So Boxing Beta, if you are watching this video, this game is by far the most fun I've had playing a boxing game. This game is by far the simplest of all the boxing games on Roblox. You just have to appeal to more people, and when people say we don't want to play Elo anymore, you have to listen. You have to give some form of grindability, because even when you hit a certain rank and you gain these gloves that you've earned, what's the point of playing afterwards when you got the gloves? I'm Sir Grizzles. Thanks for watching.